Hello everyone, welcome back to another Doctor Who collection update where I'll be showing you all the lovely bits of Doctor Who merchandise I've picked up from my last collection update ended back in March to essentially the end of July. We've got plenty of big finish, we've got vinyl, we've got an annual but probably not the one you're expecting, Levati items, some Doctor Who magazines, and yeah, quite a nice selection of Doctor Who merch, I'm going to be honest, and it's quite surprising how much I've accumulated over those few months. But before we dive into the collection update itself, if you like your Doctor Who merch and you're new around here, then please do consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like Doctor Who merch, then please do leave a like, because it really helps the channel out and all that jazz. So without further ado, let's begin the collection update. Because I like to kickstart collection updates with a bang, we're going to start off with a heavy hitter item. It is this Doctor Who coaster set. Yes, I forgot to show these in my last collection update. I got these for my birthday. Not too much to say, got 4 designs there, TARDIS, a nice comic book design, Cyberman and a Dalek. But yeah, Doctor Who coasters, nice practical item really. But yeah, let's begin the collection update with a Doctor Who Chronicles magazine, which is 1963 to 1964. A really nice fitting issue because it's the 60th anniversary year of Doctor Who. So it'd be great to kickstart that with the very beginning of Doctor Who. These magazines are a nice little treasure trove that full of nice little bits of trivia, and especially with this big sort of covering sort of the beginning days of Doctor Who, then it's sort of essential with a sort of breakdown of the main stars and obviously a little bit about the stories with some nice trivia, and of course covering about sort of the costuming of the stories there, and sort of all lovely little insight stuff within it, and of course merchandise, which is rather fitting because it's a collection update. And I like to know what sort of was going on in the merchandise in the early days of Doctor Who. So yeah, great issue. But yeah, highly recommend the Doctor Who Chronicles. If you see them, pick them up because they're just a really nice little supplementary Doctor Who magazine. Next up we have an annual, but probably not the one you're expecting. It is the unofficial 1997 Doctor Who annual. I don't know if this is still available, but it's been in the works for a long time and it's finally here. So this is based off the 8th Doctor's Radio Times sort of comic appearance with Stacey and Sard. I think this, I have no real knowledge on sort of the sort of Radio Times 8th Doctor comic strips. I really should. But yeah, this is a beautiful annual. I thought this is a really nice little curio to have in the collection. I've got a few others, what they've done. I've got the 1972 one and the masked annual. But yeah, these are really stunning pieces. You know, you've got this nice sort of 60s inspired annual artwork of the 8th Doctor. But yeah, it's just really beautiful, put together with, you know, full of little puzzles and a bit about the sort of original plan for sort of the Leakley Bible sort of stuff there, which you can see. But yeah, great artwork, lovely stories as well. These are just a labour of love and are just perfect for, you know, Doctor Who fans really. And it's just nice to have an 8th Doctor annual in the collection really. We've got a nice little foreword by Gary Russell, so you've still got the little puzzles and games, which is cool. But yeah, like I say, these are just a labour of love to have within the collection, and yeah, just really nice fun pieces overall. So that is the unofficial 1997 Doctor Who annual. Moving on to Levati now. Levati have been re-releasing some of their out-of-stock items like the 7th Doctor umbrella, but this is an item I've wanted for a long time, and it is this, the season 18 longer version of the scarf. They've done a shorter version which, you know, never really sort of satisfied the little inner fan within me. I guess it's more practical if you want to wear the shorter version, but this is, I think 12 or 13 foot, which is still inaccurate to the actual season 18 scarf, because I think you need 2 of these scarves to make the accurate length for the season 18 scarf, but that will set you back £100. But to be honest, I'm just happy with this. It's incredibly soft, and yeah, it's a beautiful scarf. I really like this little burgundy scarf. I think it's really nice. It's not as iconic as the multicoloured one, but you know what? It's a pretty scarf. I'm off to be all depressed and mopey now. Ah, goodbye. Well, not really. We've got more items. Continuing with the 4th Doctor items, we have the final instalment in the Nest Cottage Chronicles, the Serpent Crest. Now, they've done the previous 2 releases in vinyl form, Hornet's Nest and Demon Quest. But yeah, this one seems way more chunkier compared to the other 2. So it's great to finally complete these. I've never listened to the Hornet's Nest or the Nest Cottage Chronicles stuff before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, now I've got the complete set, diving in, listening to them, and hopefully reviewing them in the autumn, because I feel like these feel very sort of autumnal, you know, and I feel like the Fourth Doctor's quite an autumn Doctor, you know, the nights are drawing in, it's getting to sort of the Hinchcliffe Gothic time, as it were. So yeah, very nice. Of course, it does come with a signed Tom Baker art print, and those are the list of the stories. But yeah, very nice to have that, and to complete the Nest Cottage Chronicles. But we're not done with Fourth Doctor vinyl goodness just yet. We have the Record Store Day exclusive, which was The Amazing World of Doctor Who, which is from the iconic 1970s annuals, where you have dramatic readings from Geoffrey Beevers, Louise Jameson and Dan Starkey, essentially reading the stories from the annuals. And yeah, very nice to have that. I just love getting sort of Fourth Doctor related vinyls, because it just there's something Tom Baker just suits vinyl, but yeah, well, the Fourth Doctor in general just suits it, maybe because it's the Genesis of the Daleks LP, but yeah, very nice to have that. And obviously speaking to Stephen Noonan, who's got vivid memories about, you know, this time in particular, this was the first time people saw a glimpse of his, well, his generation had a glimpse of the Tomb of the Cybermen cyber design, which is cool, and I think that does feature it inside. But yeah, very nice. I've not opened the vinyl up yet. I'm looking forward to giving that a whirl very soon, but I just love the, I guess, the retro feel of it. It just looks so cool. The final vinyl in this collection update is a soundtrack, and it's the soundtrack from my favourite of the new series. It is Series 5. Oh yes, so this is a triple gatefold vinyl, and I've been listening to this non-stop. I Am the Doctor intensifies. Ooh yes. Yeah, brilliant series, an amazing soundtrack, and yeah, it's just a thing of beauty. I don't know if it's a silver screen exclusive, but this is a Diamond Anniversary edition. This is the first time it's ever been done on vinyl. But yeah, it's very cool. I love it. And yeah, this music's so special to me because I was lucky enough to go to the Doctor Who proms back in 2013 and hearing it live, and then going to sort of a symphonic spectacular and hearing, you know, Murray's music out there. Yeah, it's just really nostalgic and sort of get transported back to those moments in my life, really. And it's, yeah, Series 5, what a brilliant series, and what an amazing soundtrack. Back in March we saw the halfway mark in the Doctor Who collection range with Season 9. Now I believe the American edition has just come out, so Americans can now dive into this wonderful Blu-ray. But yeah, this is a tremendous set, and I think anything after Season 2, bless it, it doesn't have much in terms of bonus content, whereas this, it's got a little bit extra, not as much as Season 20. Season 20 is the biggest box set, and I cannot wait to get that. It's, you know, probably the worst kept secret in the Doctor Who collection range. But yeah, this was a wonderful surprise. As we all know, John Poe is my favourite Doctor, so anything with him, you know, I'm going to lap up and enjoy. And this is my favourite story of all time, The Sea Devils. But yeah, this has got some wonderful new special features like Location, which I think is a particular highlight. You've got the lovely little documentary of Stuart Fell. Behind the Sofa is a great bit of fun, and the new making of The Time Monster is a real treat, and obviously plenty more bonus stuff to be discovered. And I think the glorious thing with these collection sets is they take so long to sort of, you know, sit down, break down each disc and watch everything on it. By the time you've finished a set, the next one's probably just about to come out, so, you know, there's a lot to dive in and tuck in with these, and I'm glad that Season 9's got a bit of a reappraisal, because it is a tremendous season, and I love all the stories, because John Pertwee does not have a bad story, and I will defend that because it's the most consistent era. But yeah, Season 9, we've completed Joe Grant on Blu-ray, but yeah, what a great way to sort of celebrate the halfway mark in the collection line. Moving on, we have a Robert Harrop figurine, which is of the Pteroleptal leader from The Visitation, which The Visitation, I'm going to say, is my favourite Fifth Doctor story. I just love pseudo-historicals, and I think that the Pteroleptals are just iconic. I think the design's brilliant. I've just sort of had this sort of weird obsession with them ever since I was a kid, and I've always sort of wanted a Pteroleptal figure, but obviously character options have never done one, and I think this is the closest thing We will get to that, and I think Robert Harrop have done a tremendous job capturing the Terra, with a lovely sort of, looks like rubber, but it's not. They've really captured sort of the, I don't want to say the cheapness of the costume, but they've captured that. I think the detailing, especially on this side where, the poor pterodactyl gets, shot by the family at the start, they've just really captured that sort of grotesqueness and sort of the charred nature of the skin sort of, being ripped off. And yeah, really great. The paint apps are great with all the different sort of paint apps on the scales to give it that lifelike effect. Yeah, it's just tremendous, and this is number 19 out of 225. It's one of my favourites. It's a colourful piece. It stands out very well on the collection. You can see it's just very eye-catching, mainly because it's a strange fish, but yeah, brilliant. Big Finish time, the main bulk of the collection updates. We're going to kickstart with a big release. One of the big releases for Big Finish this year, it is of course the Once and Future series has started. This is Past Lives. This is the special edition version, which is meant to have a shiny and embossed cover. As you can see, it doesn't have that. Because Big Finish haven't sent the replacements yet. I think Big Finish have realised that it was meant to have this embossed logo and a sort of foil finish. But yeah, the replacements haven't arrived yet, and I think Big Finish are having a problem with the CD releases. They're on a digital download release first, and then the CDs will follow afterwards, because I haven't had the other two releases from this series. Artists at the End of Time, which was good solid little fun story, kind of interchangeable. You could change the Doctor and Companion out and it probably would work just the same, really. And then we have the Genius of War, which again, probably my favourite of the three, but I think Once and Future so far, I think it's going to boil down to the final few releases, where the actual arc begins, because so far they've been kind of standalone stories. They've not really interconnected as much as we were probably expecting. But yeah, Past Lives, it's a solid story. But yeah, the limited edition, you get the nice poster, and of course the shiny cover and all that sort of thing when it arrives, and of course behind the scenes. But yeah, Past Lives, pretty decent start. I'd say sort of 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's solid enough. Then we have the 5th Doctor box set, Conflicts of Interest, which again, solid box set. Not the best 5th Doctor Big Finish stuff they've done, but solid enough. I think, me and Luke have done a video reviewing these stories, so I'll leave a link below to the Big Finish fans playlist so you can check out our full thoughts on this box set. It's good stuff, very nice character focused stories. Next up we have the 9th Doctor Adventures, Pioneers, which has a sequel to The Green Death with the return of the giant maggots and boss. Yeah, again, I think after the series 2 of the 9th Doctor Adventures I was a little bit fatigued, because it sort of has that sort of companion of the week in each story, and it's kind of, you're starting from scratch every story really, and I think I prefer longer form storytelling, like what they're doing with The War Doctor Begins, where you'll have one box set, with one story told over 3 hours, or the War Master series, what they used to do with that, or just give the 9th Doctor a companion. That'd be cool. And there's hints, they've been hinting that 9th Doctor and Rose, give us that. But yeah, as a box set, I think that it's a step up from the series 2 stuff, from the latter half anyway. I think Northern Lights is brilliant. I think that's probably my favourite of the 3. But yeah, beautiful games, brilliant as well, with a monster called The Strike, which is essentially Doctor Who fans let loose online, really. But yeah, enjoyed that box set. The next one is a series, which is the 4th Doctor Adventures Series 12, which is New Frontiers and Angels and Demons. Possibly my favourite 4th Doctor series they've done. In terms of most consistent, I think normally with the 4th Doctor stuff, in terms of the box set wise, you'll get one really good story, then you'll kind of get a story that's kind of like, it was good, but it's not the levels of greatness like one of the other stories really. But New Frontiers, great set. Ice Heist was brilliant. I think that's probably my favourite of that set. We've got the companion Margaret, played by Nerys Hughes, what was introduced in Ravencliff Witch, or technically companion piece in Ravenous 3. But yeah, this is a brilliant series. Margaret has a wonderful little character journey. But yeah, Angels and Demons, probably my favourite Big Finish box set of the year in terms of just Doctor Who stuff. I think my favourite Big Finish release of the year so far is A Friend of a Family, the River Song box set. But in terms of just the Doctor being in a box set, Angels and Demons. Just look at that. That's a chunky box set. That is a chunky set. That's what we used to get 10 years ago. And this is what we essentially get now, these slimmer box sets. But yeah, it was a nice throwback getting this big chunky box. And I recommend picking up Angels and Demons while it's on the pre-order price, because, you know, it's got some brilliant stories. Wizard of Time is a wonderful story by Roy Gill. Friendly Invasion's probably the weakest of the set for me, but a brilliant story from Margaret. And a lot of heart. Stone Cold is the 4th Doctor and the Weeping Angels, which is very much like the Robots of Death meets the Matt Smith Angel 2-parter, Flesh and Stone and Angels, Time of Angels. You know, brilliant combination, and yeah, it's a brilliant set. And then of course we have The Ghost of Margaret, which you could only get in this box set, which rounds off Margaret's story beautifully. But yeah, it's a wonderful set. I really recommend this box set, and just this series in general, because it's just wonderful classic Hinchcliffe Tom Baker. It's brilliant, I love it, and it's definitely worth your time. And I will like to do a video reviewing the whole series very soon. But yeah, talking about Margaret's character journey more in depth. But yeah, overall, really good stuff. I really do like the 4th Doctor. Series 12. Moving on, we have a 7th Doctor box set, Far From Home, which is a continuation from, I guess, Sullivan and Cross AWOL. We don't need to listen to that to understand this box set, but I guess it gives you context on how Harry and Naomi with the 7th Doctor. But we are moving to the 7th Doctor Final Days now, which is incredibly exciting. But this box set took me by surprise. It's one of the standouts. We've got the Vashnarada in World War II, and it's a very interesting spin on the Vashnarada, especially Part 2's cliffhanger. It's some of the finest, you know, Doctor Who cliffhanger what you'd want. And then you have a beautiful story of Naomi in Naomi's Ark. It's a real great set, one of the standout box sets of the Doctor Who relaunch 2023 stuff so far. Really great stuff. And then we have the most recent Big Finish release I have physically, which is Unit Nemesis 4, Masters of Time. It'd be interesting to see if this is the last Unit box set in terms of the new Unit stuff we get, because obviously there's a rumour that we're getting a Unit spin-off series. So it'd be interesting to see if this is the last sort of Kate Stewart box set for a while. I've not listened to the Unit Nemesis stuff since the first box set, so now it's all complete, I'll probably binge listen to the other, you know, box sets and maybe do a video covering the Unit Nemesis story arc. But yeah, great to finally have that. The next box set is the War Doctor Begins Comrade in Arms. I can't comment on this because I've not listened to it. I've not listened to this one, but I've heard good things about it. I really enjoy this range, so I'm sure it's going to continue to deliver. Another release I haven't listened to, which is surprising, which is the War Master Solitary Confinement, when the Master's not actually in solitary confinement apparently. I've sort of not been in the mood for this box set because I've heard it's essentially self-defense again, which is a bit of a shame, really. You know, because I'm a huge fan of the War Master range, but the past 2 box sets kind of haven't really cut it with me. I've kind of been like, so-so with it, and maybe that's what's kind of putting me off listening to this, which is wild to think, you know, when the War Master stuff started to drop, you know, it was an instant download, be listening to it straight away. Whereas now I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually, which is a shame because I really do love the War Master. But yeah, there's the new logo on the spine. But yeah, I've heard it's just self-defense again, so yeah, it feels like I've heard it already, even though I've not listened to it. Then we have 2 very interesting Big Finish releases. One has caused quite a stir in the Doctor Who community. You may know what it is. It's Daleks Genesis of Terra. Yes, I picked it up. Is it as bad as people say? No. I might be called a Big Finish shill, but you know what you're getting. You're getting part 1 of a first draft of Genesis of the Daleks. I think the problem is it's Genesis of the Daleks, so people are naturally going to put that on a pedestal and compare it to this. I will be honest, I was a little bit shocked when they did sort of the episode breakdown, and it's like 2 minutes. I know it's Terry Nation, but blimey, 2 minutes for like an episode sort of breakdown storyline of it. The cover art's beautiful. I will do a video dedicated to Daleks Genesis of Terra, giving my full thoughts, because it's not the worst Big Finish story out there by any means. You know, it's just a weird entity what it's a very grey area, I think. And I will do a video talking about Daleks Genesis of Terra separately, and I will do a video sort of dedicated to the lost stories. I say lost stories, you know, inverted commas there, lost stories of the season 12 on audio, and sort of talking about that, because we have another version, which is the Ark, which is a bit of an up and down one. It has sort of moments of greatness and you think, oh, that's cool, and then it sort of, yeah, you can see why Robert Holmes rewrote it, and it's a very different story to what we get on TV, so I think that's probably why that makes more sense. But obviously I'll do a full video talking about the season 12 Big Finish stories, but that is pretty much all the Big Finish. I did pick up the 6th Doctor Purity Unleashed, but again, that hasn't arrived yet, because of course Big Finish are doing their sort of digital download release first, and of course I do have the other 2 Once and Future stories, but again, not physically here. But yeah, there we go, that's the Big Finish. So there we have it, that has been my Doctor Who collection update for July 2023. I hope you've enjoyed this collection update. If you have, then please do like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel out. And I will see you next time for more Doctor Who related content, which will probably be a review of the new 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, and of course a few more Big Finish reviews as well, such as a Big Finish collection update for 2023. So I'll be showing you all the lovely Big Finish I have in my collection. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.